EUIC has concluded, and without a doubt, one of the most popular decks in Day 2 was Goodra. It even got a top 8, and since Saturday afternoon, it has been all over the TCG Live ranked ladder. So, most of you have known that I've uploaded a handful of Goodra profiles if you've been rocking with me for the long while. If not, if you're new here, hi, I'm Stu, and welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more Pokemon TCG content. But yeah, let's just dive in. Goodra VSTAR. We're playing a 3-3 line. They don't match, unfortunately. We'll start with the V. 220 HP with 2 attacks, Slip and Trip, and Rolling Shell. Slip and Trip does 60 damage, and your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. You do the damage to the first Pokemon. And then you have Rolling Shell. For 140, you take 30 less during your next turn. 220 HP, no weakness, no resistance, but 3 retreat is quite thick on this thing. But then we have 3 copies of the V-Star. 270 HP with the attack Rolling Iron for 200 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this takes 80 less damage from attacks. So theoretically, if you have full HP, they have to hit you for 350 to get a KO. And then you have a V-Star power, Moisture Star. Once during your turn, you may heal all damage from this Pokemon. So if you get one of these set up, you start Rolling Iron, you're taking less damage. Until you get to the point where you think they're going to be able to KO you, you Moisture Star and start from scratch with a fresh Goodra. The awkwardness of Goodra is the attack cost of 1 water, 1 metal, and 1 colorless. So any combination of those will pretty much take care of you. But the problem with Goodra generally is that most people are rocking out with the Lost Engine. So we are playing a 4 Comfy for flower selecting. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put 1 in your hand, 1 in the Lost Zone. The whole point of the Lost Zone is to get 4 cards in the Lost Zone, or at this point, 7 cards in the Lost Zone. So Comfy is your main Pokemon engine to get cards in the Lost Zone, and then we have Cramorant as an attacker with the ability Lost Provisions. Does 110 damage for Spit Innocently, not affected by weakness, but you can attack for 0 energy as long as you have 4 or more cards in the Lost Zone. I normally don't skip to the items already, but you have Mirage Gate here. When you have 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone, you can insert your deck for 2 basic energy cards of different types and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. So you're able to attach them to Goodra or other Pokemon, in this case like Radiant Greninja, where you're able to discard an energy card and draw 2 cards. So we'll come back to Mirage Gate in a hot second here. Let me get that back in its correct placement in the list. Continuing on with the Pokemon, we've got 1 copy of Drapion V. Your Mew matchup, if they're a little bit aggressive, is a little bit awkward and a little bit hard to deal with, so Drapion is there to take care of it. And this is where the spice for this specific list comes in. And it's definitely inspired by Alex Szymanski's winning list of Arceus Duraludon with a 1-1 Vulpix line. We too are playing a 1-1 Alolan Vulpix line in here. And it fits the energy theme quite well. It only needs 1 water and 2 colorless. So a combination of an attachment for turn and Mirage Gate, or a Raihan and Mirage Gate, or Melanie, so on and so forth. But we'll start with the V. 190 HP with the attack for no energy. White Drop, it does 10 damage. If you're attacking into a V, it does 50 more, and you have Frost Smash for 110 for water, double colorless. This is weak to metal, which isn't super relevant now that Metal Saucer's fallen out of the standard format. But the V-Star here, you're going to use this Snow Mirage for 160 damage. The attacks damage isn't affected by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so in slang terms, shred. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from a Pokemon that have an ability. So, in the mirror match of all the Goodra, if you're able to get Alolan Vulpix V-Star attacking with Snow Mirage and able to keep it rolling, and they can't, like, you know, switch boss, whatever, Snow Mirage locks them out of the game. Also, Gardevoir, as we saw in the final matches between Tord Reklev and Alex Szymanski, the only thing that can really do anything with this in Gardevoir is, you know, gusting around the Vulpix or using Ralts's Memory Skip. So in addition to that, too, you have a V-Star power here. That's an attack. Silvery Snowstar, 70 damage times the amount of energy for every one of your opponent's Pokemon V in play. It's an okay attack. I haven't used it in the games I've played with this list with the Vulpix in here, so keep in mind that it's a possibility you could potentially use it if you don't get a Goodra set up. So if you are in the right match where this 1/1 line makes sense, then do it up. But that's the Pokemon line, so we'll just continue on into the supporters. We're playing 4 copies of Course Experiment. They don't match of a regional promo, the Crown Zenith one, and then 2 normal Lost Origin ones. But look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Put 2 of them into the Lost Zone and 3 of them into your hand. It's your main supporter draw engine. In addition to that, we have 3 copies of everyone's favorite Mummy Melanie. I can't believe I said that, but everyone always calls her that. You can attach a water energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V if you do draw 3 cards. So this is going to go onto your Goodra V or V-Star or your Vulpix V or V-Star. In addition to that, we've got 3 copies of Boss's Orders for your General Gusting. No copies of Serena here. We have 1 singular copy of Roxanne. If your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, you can play this, and you both shuffle your hands into the deck, and then you get to draw a big fat 6 cards, and they get pushed down to 2. Sometimes they get out of it, though. It feels like everyone says that Roxanne is a lie. It's kind of rough. And the last supporter is a copy of Raihan. If they knocked out one of your Pokemon on the last turn, you can attach an energy card from the discard pile to one of your Pokemon and then search your deck for any card. So Raihan onto the Vulpix if it's already been in play. Search for Mirage Gate or the Evolution. Bada boom, bada bing. You're cooking. Alright, on to the items. I'm going to space some here. We've got 4 copies of Switch, just basic Switch. That way you can move in and out of flower selectings and everything else that you need to do to get the cards into the Lost Zone, so you can start attacking with Goodra sooner than later. We've also got 3 copies of Escape Rope. Both players switch Pokemon. Your opponent switches first, and then you switch second. So, good way to rope around everything and move Comfies and get things like Klefki, if it's even relevant at this point, out of the active spot. In terms of finding Pokemon, we are playing 4 copies of Battle VIP Pass if you're going first or you're going second. As long as it's your first turn, you can play this. Search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and put them on the bench. Pretty straightforward. It's only good on that first turn of the game for you, so 9 times out of 10, if you find it with Flower Selecting or Colorless Experiment after the fact, you're going to want to get rid of those and send them to the Lost Zone. We call that a smooth brain moment. You don't have to think. We're then playing 3 copies of Nest Ball and 1 copy of Ultra Ball. Search your deck for a basic, put it onto your bench. Luckily, we don't have any, like, when you play it from your hand onto your bench effects, so Nest Ball is perfectly fine on this list, versus regular Lost Box, where it feels kind of awful with some of the things that they're starting to play, like Hawlucha. And then we've got the Ultra Ball here. Discard 2 other cards in your hand, search your deck for a Pokemon, and reveal it and put it into your hand. So this is how you're going to get your V-Stars into your hand, if need be. Alright, continuing on, we have 1 copy of Choice Belt. The attacks that this Pokemon is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's Pokemon V. So it helps Goodra get 1-hit KOs on things like Miraidon, and so on and so forth. It helps Vulpix get to 190, which can get over, you know, like a basic Mew or a Genesect V. And the last couple items, technically, and you know, this isn't an item. I have it. Tool cards are no longer items, even though it says so. It is now a tool card. It's got its own classification, so it doesn't count as an item. So I guess we should move that now, and then put down our 3 copies of Mirage Gate, which we covered already. If you have 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone, search deck for 2 basic energy of different types and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. So that's how you're going to get all your energy onto your Goodra so you can start attacking. And hey, let's look at the tool cards. We've got a Choice Belt. Alright, problem solved if we fixed it. In terms of stadiums, we're playing 1 singular copy of Beach Court. All basic Pokemon in play, yours and your opponents, have a retreat cost of 1 less. So everything other than Goodra and Drapion can pivot without having to use an energy attachment for turn. In terms of energy, though, we are playing 7 basic water energy here. 7 for the water because it's a little bit heavier because of things like Greninja can potentially attack thanks to Mirage Gate. We've got Melanie to attach as well, and Vulpix requires 1 water. So we're playing 5 metal on top of the 7 water there, just so we can fill the requirements of having that one metal on the Goodra. And it also just makes it so we have 2 different types to attach with Mirage Gate. And the last energy is a single copy of V-Guard energy to give everything a little bit more HP in terms of fighting Pokemon V. But this is the list that I started playing with. It's pretty similar to one of the top cut lists. I don't think the top 8 lists, I want to say top 16, there was a list that had an Articuno and 2 Beach Court, and in my playing so far, I cut one of the Beach Courts. It just felt unimpactful since a lot of other decks are playing it. The Mirrors are playing it. The Miraidon is playing it. So we cut the Beach Court and the Articuno for the Vulpix line, just for some technology in the list to see how much different it feels. And it definitely does help the Mirror, and it helps the Gardevoir match pretty well. So I'm digging it. Keep an eye out for a Leafeon and Spidops deck profile later this week or early next week, whenever that happens. I also have a Evolving Skies Elite Trainer box I'm thinking about doing an opening video on. So if this gets like 50 likes in the next week, we'll open up the Evolving Skies ETB. Also, come follow me over on Twitch. We've been doing a couple live streams of TCGL, giving away tons of code cards. I just had a guy come into the shop yesterday and give me an entire packed ETB full of codes. So I got to get that sorted and scanned so we can give them to everybody in the community. We've been doing like mini race car games for giveaways, and of course just code words and exclamation ticket items and stuff like that. So come on over to Twitch. Link is always down in the description below. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and wherever else you enjoy your content. I'm somewhere out there. But thanks for all the love and support. Don't forget to smash the like button. Become a member if you want to support the channel financially. If not, no big deal. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know what you think of the list down below in the comments. And yeah, have a great day. Take it easy.